oh, I have to do content this morning. Oh shit, then I have to like literally go in and drag, especially Wonder. I have to like drag this big boy out into the studio to do content. But then when he's in there, they usually enjoy it. They usually like what they do, and they usually uh, come out like happy.
Hello, everyone, and I'm really excited to post the very first video on this channel. But a lot more than that, I'm excited that this is an interview with the League of Legends content creator of Fnatic, Pete Nguyen. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me.
So to start things off, I know that you come from a journalism background. So my first
Mm-hmm.
question is, how did you get into esports, and how does your background help you on your daily job as a content manager and videographer?
So how did I get into esports? It was back in 2018, and I had just been watching EULCS at the time, just a fan. And so I followed all of the teams on Instagram, and I saw a post that Fnatic made on Instagram that were looking for a photographer, and I was like, "Yo, I'm a photographer," so I messaged them, and and sorry, my phone is going off. And then wait, I lost my train. Yeah, so I applied. Basically, I sent them a message, and they said, "Okay, cool. We need you to come do a job for us." Did a first job. A couple of weeks later, they asked me to come back, do another job, and then I was like, "Guys, I do video as well. If you need some video work done." And then they invited me to the spring finals in Copenhagen that year. So I went and did my first Legends in Action there, and then it kind of just snowballed, and they kept calling me back, and then I was put on retainer, and then eventually they sent me a full-time contract. The other part of the question was how journalism helped,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Yeah, journalism background. Um, I think there are a lot of people with journalism backgrounds working in esports right now, and I think it's a really, really good foundation to have, because you learn how to basically tell stories. So me being a content creator, and others being presenters or actual esports journalists or interviewers, they're also storytellers in a way. So I just use my skills that I learned during my studies and during my freelance career to basically tell stories, and that's the main gist of it, I guess. Like you really do learn how to talk to people, how to interview people, how to find an angle to a story, because you just sometimes you just don't have enough words or time to go like from A to Z of their life story or whatever. So you need to find like certain angles, find the most interesting thing, and work around that. So I think that's what my journalism background has really helped me do.
Yeah, and you definitely in all of the content of Fnatic that we watch, you seem like much closer to the team and to all the stuff. And I think this is what makes the Fnatic content so special. So the next question I wanted to ask is about like your presence in the videos. Most content managers or videographers stay in the back, but very quickly after joining Fnatic, you basically became a part of the team, and I'm sure majority of the fans will agree with that. So is this something that you planned to do, or did it just happen naturally?
I wouldn't say it happened so fast. And it wasn't planned at all, and it wasn't like something that I aimed to do when I joined Fnatic. I've always been the guy behind the scenes doing the video work, the editing, the ideation, all that kind of stuff. It actually started because we were all isolated. We didn't have enough time with the players. We didn't have any time with the players to record anything of value. So we had to pivot. And so Fnatic actually asked me to start doing live broadcast shows. So we had an ideation session, and it came up in these meetings that, okay, what can we do to still make League of Legends content for Fnatic, but not use the players so much. And it was suggested that I start doing podcasts, not podcasts, but shows, interviewing the players. And then we figured out that actually, like, one of the biggest bottlenecks of working in esports, in League of Legends esports, is that the players, one, don't have any desire to do content. Most players, I should say. I shouldn't say all players. Some players very much love doing content, but in Fnatic, most of our players don't want to do content. And two, they have very, very busy schedules. So, for example, nowadays with like the LEC schedule the way it is, 3 days instead of 2 days, and then which means like 3 days, only 3 days of scrims. They increase their scrim time from 5 to 6 games, meaning they don't have time weekly to do content anymore. And it was the same back then. We didn't have that much time with the players. They didn't want to do it. So I think it was a really clever move to pivot away from the players a bit and just basically take the responsibility and the load of being in front of camera off them a little bit and pass them on to someone like me, who can then be that kind of like translator from the fans to the players. And I'm close with all of the players anyways, so I know exactly what's going on in their heads. I know their moods, and I can be that translator, that conduit that brings the team closer to the fans. And yeah, I mean, basically, that's why I started becoming more in front of camera and becoming more of a personality. And I think, yeah, I think I enjoy it a lot, obviously. But yeah, I only do it to help the team as much as I can.
That's absolutely great that it happened. And actually, prior to this interview, I went to the Reddit Fnatic community to ask people like what would be some of the questions they would be interested to learn from you. And one of the most asked questions was like, how do you convince players to do the content? And as you already mentioned, it's like very hard for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of explaining to them that content is a part of their job. Believe it or not, it's actually a part of their contracts for many of them. They have to do a certain amount of content, whether that's streaming or with me in front of camera. So it's very, yeah, it goes hand in hand with being a pro player. If you want to be a pro player, how do you get paid by being a pro player? Oh, you need to do content. You need to do sponsor stuff. You need to do marketing. That's how they get paid. So if you explain it to them in that way and they can understand that, then it makes it a lot easier. But it's still like, oh, I have to do content this morning. Oh shit, then I have to like literally go in and drag, especially Wonder. I have to like drag this big boy out into the studio to do content. But then when he's in there, they usually enjoy it. They usually like what they do, and they usually come out like happy. They come out of the content dungeon happy, which is, yeah, ironic.
I honestly I would never expect you to name Wunder among all the players because of his comments, the banter is like he he basically is a content by himself and with his tweets. So I would assume he would be the easiest one to convince to do that.
No, he is most definitely the hardest, and I think he'll appreciate me calling him out on this because he knows that, and it's not like he makes my job difficult at all. That's not said, but like he just likes to complain when it comes to content. But it's like a very I don't know. It's like a love-hate relationship, I would say.
So another question that's coming from Reddit is, and it's coming from the user named blank1309. So what is your favorite piece of content or series that you did for Fnatic and that you are really proud of?
I'm generally really proud of the Legends in Action documentary series, especially the first ones back in 2018, where I basically just did those alone. So I shot everything, I edited myself, I directed everything. I mean, I did have some help doing graphics and stuff because I wasn't so proficient in that respect. But I think I really did a good job back then of kind of encapsulating what happened during those weeks of competition, how the players felt. I think my interviews were like really on point, and I think it brought the esports content uh, world more closer, like to each other. So I think I brought the fans more close to the players closer to the fans, and yeah, I'm really proud of all of the videos that I've made. Like, it might be shit to say, but the episode at Worlds 2021 last year,
Yeah,
Iceland.
it was 2021.
Yeah, Iceland. Not last year, the year before. It's 2023 now. Where Niski had was a bit overwhelmed emotionally, and he broke down, and it was very hard for me to hold the camera in this instance, but I still did it, even though every fiber of my being just wanted to turn the camera off and go and give him a hug, right? But I knew what my job was, and I can ask for permission afterwards. And that's what I did, and the episode came out. And after explaining to everyone, yeah, Niski gave me permission to use the footage. And this is one of the, even though it's a really sad episode, I think it's one of the best episodes of Legends in Action we've ever done. That being said, we other piece of content that I really am proud of are the BMW series that we did. These were absolutely the biggest budget videos that we've ever done uh, in my time at Fnatic, at least. And it was the first time that I also had to project lead, so I did everything from ideation to budgeting to script writing to finding crew, finding a producer, producing the thing, organizing the shoot, scheduling, catering, all that kind of stuff. Like I kind of like took, and it was the first time I had to do something like this big, and there was a lot of pressure because BMW poured a lot of money into this, so I felt very, very under pressure to make something worth that money. And I think in the end, both the series with the racetrack, when ultimates meet, and Fnatic learns to drive. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, when the players learn to drive, I think both these series are really standouts in my career so far because, yeah, I had to do so much work. It was a lot of stress, a lot of hours put in to make these things happen. And then I think they turned out really, really good.
I absolutely agree from the fans' perspective. And going back to Legends in Action in 2021 Worlds, right? So
Hmm.
how do you basically balance capturing the players' emotions, but at the same time giving them privacy when they need it, to have a special approach to that?
There's no privacy.
I,
Not when I'm around.
I guess that's also an approach.
I mean, no, I kid. Sure, like there are times when the team is like, you just have to have this feeling when to record and when to not record, right? Um, and the best thing about Legends in Action is that it's not live. People seem to think, oh, he just captures every single thing and he just shows it, but Legends in Action is it's a documentary. It gets edited. Like, people don't understand that we can edit things. So you can record as much as you want, and you can just edit out the bits that are too intimate to to show to the public, right? The way I like to do things is just to record it, and if it's not approved, we just cut it out. It's as simple as that. But if you're not recording, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You can't use it. You know what I mean? If you don't shoot, you don't have the material to release. So just record and just deal about the consequences later, I say. But that being said, yeah, of course, I'm not filming them while they're sleeping. I'm not filming them while they're eating. You know, I'm not filming them 24/7 a day, 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like usually, I'm in the team meetings. I film the team meetings. Obviously, I film the post game reviews. I film, between games. I film, if they're doing something exciting, like, I don't know, going out playing football, I'll take the camera with me and we'll film that and see if we can get anything funny out of that. But yeah, I'm not filming them while they're scrimming, for example. Like, that is one of the areas that I'm adamant. Okay, practice is important. You don't distract them by walking up with a camera during scrim time or solo queue time. That's it.
Got it. And since we're on the topic, can you tell us more about like your day-to-day work process and how do you come up with new ideas for content?
My day-to-day, I guess it's very different every day, and this is one of the things I love about my job the most. It's not, repeating the same thing every day, but I have a lot of tasks, I guess. I film a lot nowadays. I used to not film a lot, but now I film a lot because we're bringing back Legends in Action. I can reveal that to you, exclusive on your podcast. But we're bringing back Legends in Action. There's going to be one coming out on Saturday, and we're going to try and do it weekly. So these require a lot of filming. So I'm a lot with the team filming for these. Other times I'm in meetings, so whether that be ideation meetings or planning meetings, scheduling, budget, yeah, a lot of meetings. And then some days I'll be writing up content plans or scripts, or I'll be making analyses of our YouTube performance or social performance, that kind of stuff, or just talking to like my colleagues in the content team, in the social team, to come up with new ideas for content. And we actually have a content day next week, which I'm very excited about. We're going to film some brand new content that we haven't done before, so that's going to be really exciting. But yeah, my day to day is very, very, very different every day. And in terms of like coming up with new ideas, yeah, it's always a team effort. So we have weekly ideation sessions. So everyone who's interested in the company and League of Legends and league content come, and we just spitball ideas. We consume a lot of content outside of esports, so we maybe like take inspiration from YouTube series or from Netflix or from whatever, and we just discuss and we just write down our ideas and see where it leads. So yeah, that's usually where the ideas come from. And sometimes as well, like we have our sponsors come to us and they're like, okay, we need a video for Hisense or for, I don't know, BMW or for ASOS. Okay, come up with something. So then we'll have like separate break-off meetings to discuss how can we bring in our partner into our normal YouTube content and like make brand awareness a thing in our content for our audience. So we work a lot closely with the marketing and partnerships teams as well in the company.
Is there a piece of content that you regret doing or you would do differently?
Yes, there is. 20 was it 2020 or 2019? Let me see. Let me just quickly search on YouTube. It was when Mithy was coach. When was
I think
that?
it was 2019.
2019?
Yeah, but I might be wrong.
No, it was 2020.
Yes,
it was 2020.
Yes, last year, right?
It was 2020. Yeah, we made this. So we had a content day, and half of the team was sick. They were ill. I was also getting ill, and we shot, I think, 4 videos that day. And the first video we shot because it was like around the time of the Academy Awards, the Oscars, right? And so I made the players react and rate trailers for all the Oscars best pictures nominees, and they were all like back on the couch, like no energy, and they didn't want to be there. And I kind of like forced it too much. And when we cut it and we put it together, it was still like very low energy, and you could just tell that they didn't want to be there and they didn't want to do that. But I made the call to still release it because I hate wasting time. Like I felt like if we didn't release the content, then the hours we spent filming and editing this piece would have just been wasted. But in hindsight, I think it would have been better to just say, no, this doesn't work. Let's not publish it to YouTube. But we did publish it to YouTube, and it got like really shit comments on it. And then that's one that I regret, which is funny because the same day we shot things like the Pepe Awards, the Fnatic final reveal, and these videos popped off, and the players were all into it. So it's just more about the concept, I guess, that you're trying to shoot, and you have to get the players on board and invested in it. And this concept of rating Oscars films, maybe it would have been better if they weren't sick, but yeah, I definitely should have said, okay, well, we're not releasing this. This is crap. No one's going to like this. So that's it. But I did, and I regret it.
Oh, another question that I have in mind is like, how do you approach videos that happen after the negative results for the team? For example, after losses during the important games.
So this is more like gameplay footage
Yes.
and like gameplay highlights and stuff. It depends, right? Like, you're gonna see our voice comms video is going to be released later today, and the Legends in Action is going to be released tomorrow. So you see how we'll deal with losses, especially the bad one versus G2 in week 1. But we tend to keep things in. The players have come to me in the past and said, Pete, why did you put this in the content? This is like, why did you show this play? It's really shit from us, And I'm like, well, I'm there to tell a story, and the story is you entered, so you have to own up to it. That's it. So yeah, that's how we usually decide what goes in. But obviously, you want to limit the bad things and embrace the good plays, so to speak. Celebrate the good plays, because at the end of the day, you are marketing your team, and you don't want them to look bad or feel bad. So yeah, you'll see in the upcoming videos how we deal with it. Like very, very. If you look at our content with a critical eye, you'll see.
Okay.
We like to meme our shit plays as well.
I would also like to talk to you about your relationship with players. I think it was during one of your streams I saw that you like to really, really connect with them to make the content more authentic. So how does it feel when there are constant roster changes?
Oh, it's very tough. It's one of the hardest parts of my job, I think, is to make farewell videos. The last one with Hilly was especially painful, since we actually started at Fnatic at the same time, and he's been with me the entire time I've been here at Fnatic, and vice versa. And we were very, very close, like very, very close. And yeah, I mean, it's weird to see players like this leave, but I know at the end of the day, this is the world we live in. These are not full-time jobs. These are contract players, and that in a very volatile world. So yeah, it is tough. I'm not gonna lie, but we also love it when new players come in, because then it's a celebration of, oh, we get to meet someone new, and let's delve in. Let's see who this person is, and let's see what we can bring out from their personality and present to the world. So yeah, it's always very exciting, but it's also sad.
Oh, several months ago, the rumors started happening very unexpectedly about Rekkles returning to Fnatic. And how did you react the moment that you learned that it's actually happening?
I mean, I found out on Twitter, like everyone else. I don't get any inside information, so don't come asking for it. Um, Actually, like I met Reckless again for the first time in years in Malmo when he was on the analyst desk for the finals, right? And yeah, I just saw him at the hotel, and we had a long chat, about life. We caught up, and he had already expressed to me then that he wanted to play in the LEC again, and I knew he was going to find a team. I just didn't know that it would be Fnatic. But once the rumor started, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. So yeah, I was very happy for him to come back to Fnatic. We've always had a really good relationship. Again, like he was there when I started in 2018, and he's actually one of the ones that really understands the value of content. So we got along very, very well back then, as we do now. I think even our relationship now is even stronger. And he's even coming up to me and saying, "Hey, when are we doing content? Oh, what are we doing next week?" Like he's actually suggesting things, which is great to see. And yeah, he's definitely one of the easier ones to work with. So I was really happy when I heard that he would come back to Fnatic. At the same time, as I mentioned before, that means Upset is not going to be part of the everyday team anymore. So we still talk to each other sometimes, Upset and I. But yeah, I mean, I don't see him every day. I think he still lives in Berlin, but yeah, I don't see him every day. He was also a lot of fun to hang around with. So it was sad to see him go, but very excited to see Reckless come back.
And my last question for today is also coming from Reddit, and I would love to pronounce his nickname, but I have no idea how, so I'm just going to type it later on. And I'm going to read that question to you. So,
Sure.
Since you have been coached by the Fnatic players for a while now, we all do expect you to go pro yourself very soon. So the question is, what skin would you pick if you win Worlds?
Ah, shit. First off, before I answer the actual question, I would like to address a massive misconception out there that I get coached every day by the players. This is not the case. The Fnatic Teaches Noob series is the only time that they come and they watch me play and teach me play League of Legends. Normally, they don't want anything to do with me when it comes to League of Legends. They watch my gameplay and they're just like, I want to rinse my eyes out with fucking soap. Okay, so they don't want anything to do with me when it comes to League of Legends. Content, yes. League, no. So the fact that people out there are saying, "Oh, he's been coached by Fnatic for so many years, he should be pro soon," that's not how it is, guys. It's not how it is. We do these videos like once every 3 months or something. So I get like maybe 10. I think last year we did 10 episodes. So I get 10 coaching sessions a year. And usually this is under pressure with cameras everywhere, lights. I know that millions of people are going to watch it and flame the shit out of me. So like, I'm nervous when I'm playing in these games. Plus, I've got fucking pro players next to me. Of course you're going to be nervous. Anyone would be nervous, right? So like, yeah. Anyways, but if I was a pro and I did win Worlds, what skin would I get? I would probably pick, I mean, I play so many different champs. I'll probably pick something like Samira. I love Samira. She's like absolutely my type of champion. Just dash in, do a bunch of shit, and die.
I thought you were gonna say like dash in, do a bunch of it, and dash out. No.
I mean, you can dash out because you get resets, right? But I'm not good enough, so. Yeah, either Samira or let me just check out the champions. What champions are there? Wait. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So I play. Oh, maybe a Malphite skin. I think Malphite needs a new skin, huh? Like he hasn't had a skin in ages. Malphite, Gragas, because I think Gragas is just a funny champ. Maybe Jinx. I love Jinx. Um, maybe Pike. I really like Pike. Kai'Sa. Um, but yeah, I'm maining Samira right now, so I'm gonna say Samira.
Okay. So yeah, these were all of the questions I have prepared, and thank you once again for joining. It was a pleasure talking to you and getting to know you better a little bit. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much, man. It was fun.